Well. I see you took my advice, but you'll still need to keep what was given to you, as the scenes of horror grow even more unimaginable. Prince and Freddie will continue to be your tour guides on this carousel of hell, only as long as you keep your nightlight close by to keep the black-eyed children at bay, the poltergeist calm, and the night crawlers hidden. Hit the lights and sit back as we welcome you to Nightlight, a horror movie podcast.
I'm Prince, also known as At Night.
And I'm Freddie, also known as Nighty Night.
And this is Nightlight, a horror movie podcast with a guest. We are joined not by ourselves this time. So extremely excited to introduce Ariel Power Shop. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, guys. I'm so excited to talk about this movie. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course, absolutely.
Pleasure.
This has been a long time coming, I feel like. It's definitely been a long time coming. We've had passings before where we're on a movie together.
Yeah, we share celluloid. So
we share celluloid. So yeah, we're in a documentary together, Generation Terror, which is supposed to be coming out at some point. So things have happened. I can't share too much about it. Things have happened to where that is going to be coming out at some point, hopefully this year, but I have no true wind or word of when that's all happening, but fingers crossed that it comes out this year, because that was like, 2 years ago now when we
coming soon since 2024.
Oh my God.
Oh man, how have times have changed. But we are going to be continuing our End of Innocence Horror Month, also known as The Last Summer. I don't know if this movie was filmed in summer, but it feels like it. Kind of feels like it, but at the same time they're in school, so I don't know.
It feels like the end of summer break.
That's what it feels like.
Right.
Yeah, it feels like the end of summer break. Everybody looks like very, very old high school students, but that's neither here nor there.
That's probably for the best.
Probably for the best, exactly.
100%.
We don't need a euphorian inside of this particular movie. But the film that we're going to be covering is none other than Teeth. But before we do that, we do have an EVP coming at us. Very, very excited for this. This is the first time EVP from our friend Alyssa. So I'm really, really excited. So excited.
Yeah.
Hi, Prince and Freddie. It is Alyssa, your favorite final girl who isn't really a girl, first-time caller, long-time listener. I just wanted to drop in on the Teeth episode and let y'all know about Teeth, a coming-of-age musical. That's right, the movie inspired an off-Broadway musical called Teeth. And I want to really quickly just play you a little bit of one of my favorite songs from the musical called Dentata. So here you go.
If Christ compels you to release me, she-whore.
The power of dentata compels you to shut the fuck up and give us your big fat dick.
Whoa!
My
God.
spread like a plague worldwide. Soon all men will fall to our death.
This is awesome. Oh, this is a treat.
You're welcome.
I had no idea.
Love them. Oh my God. Wow. Alyssa is amazing. Yo, they know how to start a fucking show. You know, am I right? Wow, I knew about the Teeth musical. I've never heard a single thing from the Teeth musical, so that was an absolute delight. That was a treat for sure. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for voicing your EVP and allowing us to bless our ears, if you will.
With our first copy strike. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. And we're off every single platform. No, seriously, thank you so much for that. Was absolutely incredible. That was really cool. If you would like to also voice your thoughts on the show, you can do so by heading over to patreon.com/nightlightpod, that's night with a K, to also participate in EVPs. We would love to hear you on the show, just like Alyssa there, because what they did was pretty fantastic. There's no rules, as you can see, with EVPs, so fucking go nuts.
Also, to listen to Final Girl Standing. Their podcast is amazing.
Absolutely. Yes. What a great podcast. Great podcast. We actually, last year, we did pretty much a whole month of inspired by their podcasts, Jesse and Alyssa, where we had like it was kind of like a head-to-head battle, March Madness style, and it was a blast, but it was super fun. It was like Dungeons and Dragons on fucking steroids. It was cool. It was cool. It was cool. Perfect. Awesome. Now for our thoughts on Teeth. First and foremost, Ariel, if you don't mind taking it away.
Oh my gosh. I love this movie, you guys. It's no surprise, right? There's a reason asked me to be on this episode.
Absolutely.
This movie is everything. It's doing so much stuff so well, and it doesn't nail everything perfectly, and I'm sure we'll get to that, but there's so much stuff that it just nails 100%. And in 2007, that was really special. Like we were not nailing social themes in the 2000s. That's not what we were doing.
Especially in that era, for sure.
We were doing other stuff. And it had me thinking a lot when I was rewatching it this week. I was thinking a lot about the movie Dead Girl. Have you guys seen Dead Girl?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it comes out a year later, and it's got a lot of similar very different vibe of a movie, but a lot of similar themes about consent and the way we talked about consent as a culture or didn't talk about consent as a culture, and the terms we used at the time that we've really sort of needed to replace and have done so for some of them. I think Dead Girl's a really good companion piece to Teeth if you want to delve deep into those themes and where the zeitgeist was in the mid-late 2000s.
Absolutely.
But I love this movie.
That's fucking awesome. Now, Freddie, this was a first time watch for you, second time watch?
This was my first time watch. And I've always seen the poster. I've always had it on my watch list. I've always heard great things about it. So I was really excited to get into this. And I had just based on what I've heard, I kind of had a inclination of what this movie is about. But I had no idea what I was getting myself into because I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't watch anything. I thought I was getting punked again. I was like, this is supposed to be satire, right? And it is satire. And I absolutely fell in love with it. That's awesome. Yeah, this movie is really amazing. It's really great. It has a lot to say, a lot of important topics. On paper, even when I was renting it, it was it says comedy. It doesn't say horror. But this is one of the most horrifying comedies I've ever seen as well, because what is happening is absolutely horrifying. But yes, there are moments where it breaks that tension, it breaks the suspense, and it has that comedic moment. It's just a great blend of it knows exactly what it wants to be, and it goes for it, and it takes risks. And I don't know, there's just something about this movie where I'm just I just loved every moment of it. Just seeing the character's journey, what she was going through, the empowerment that she feels at the very end, but kind of the journey, how she got from the beginning to where she was at. It was just both funny, heartbreaking, horror, comedy, just mind-blowing at moments. And then there's also great practical effects and great acting moments. And then, yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I'm really happy I went in completely blind, too, because I had no idea what this movie was going to offer me, and I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this was great. This was a great follow-up for Cherry Falls, too, because I kind of felt the same way with Cherry Falls. I'm just they're very self-aware of everything, right? It's are they doing this on purpose? I'm yes, they are, and they know what they're doing, and it's really cool to see. It's just creative, just storytelling that you don't see often. It's just a unique gem. Yeah. I kind of kept on thinking a little bit about Jennifer's Body a little bit as well as a companion piece with this. A lot of it has to do with, of course, consent, body autonomy, ownership of your own body, and then kind of using your body to gain that revenge afterwards as well. Yeah, no, this movie was a huge surprise, and I didn't even want to rate it on Letterboxd, so you didn't see my high score. I'm going to do it afterwards now because I was just let's talk about it during the show because,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of my the most fun watch I've had in a while, too.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome. That's awesome. Wow, that's really great.
That's cool.
That's awesome. This was the second time watch for me. The first time I watched this, I did watch this around the time it came out, which was not a good idea for a teenage boy, I felt like, because I felt like I was way too immature to watch this movie at that time. And when I was watching, I was like, oh my God, Like, it was a lot of that and a lot of obnoxiousness. And I was very happy to watch this a second time because I knew the movie was awesome. And I knew I just watched it at the wrong age. And when I decided to go into this movie this time around, I obviously had a completely different outlook on everything, and this movie's fantastic. This movie's amazing. This movie's so really good. It's so funny. It's something that truly is remarkable on, I think this was this guy's I think this was his last movie he made or something like that, or second movie to the last or something like that. He didn't make many movies, but this was just, to me, a slam dunk, knock out of the park. Like you even said, Ariel, he did something here that also felt like, yeah, there's some aspects of it that could have been a little buttoned up a little bit more, but still at the same time, it was just something about this particular movie that just really just made it just shine in a completely different way. So just a list off here. He has 4 director credits where we have Resurrection, which was a short film, Teeth, which was his second film, Happy Tears was his third, and then Angelica was his 4th and final film, which came out in 2015. So, yeah.
I don't know any of the other ones you said.
Same.
No, neither do I. Yeah. Happy Tears oddly sounds familiar, but when I look at it, I'm just like, this isn't ringing any bells for me, but it's with Parker Posey and Demi Moore. So
can't go wrong.
Yeah, can't go wrong. So there you go. And I think it's a pure comedy for this one, like a comedy drama kind of flick. But yeah, I've never seen it, never heard of it. It sounds oddly familiar, but at the same time, I think it's just the poster that looks slightly familiar to me. But whatever. So yeah, this guy. Okay, let me ask you this, Ariel. How do you feel about this movie being directed by a man? Does that something that seems like, he hit the marks in certain areas of where you can feel that kind of that connection, or do you feel like there was aspects of where just okay, I can tell this is totally a guy?
There are a couple parts where I was like, that's a man in charge.
Yeah.
But what I do think is interesting, having this from a man's point of view, is how scared he is of having his dick bitten off. That makes the horror work really well in this movie. And I definitely hear the criticism, and I take the criticism of women should be telling rape revenge stories, and there's something to that for sure. But also, maybe men can tell some dickstruction stories and, tell us how scary it is to have your penis bitten off. So
it's pretty scary.
I do think that I'd love to see a remake of this directed by a woman. I think that would be a really interesting comparison.
I think that would be really, really cool.
But it does bring the dick horror really well. And I think, that might have something to do with being directed by a man.
Agreed. Yeah, I think so as well. I would have loved to have seen the perspective of this from a woman director, just because I feel like we would have probably gone a little bit more into the lore behind the dentata. It sounds like Hakuna Matata, so I try to match that as much as
vagina
I can.
Dentata.
Yes.
Means you should be worried about everything.
Exactly. But I also love that.
Yeah.
It truly does at this point. But I love how empowered she gets by the end of it, right? I love that empowerment that she feels by the end of this, and that's something that just feels so. I don't know. It just feels fucking strong. In that final still that we get in this film, I'm just like, let's fucking go. You became the hero of your own story in the weird way that you possibly could think of. And I love that. It was so great. So great. But are you both ready to jump into this? Let's go ahead and talk further.
Let's do
into the film.
Let's sink our teeth into this. Let's do it.
Please don't let our guests leave.
I'm gonna put them out of here.
I've got a pun countdown that I can
exactly.
We should have recorded this at 2:30. 2:30.
Oh no. Teeth, directed by Mitchell Lichtenstein, I think I said that right. Released January 18th, 2008, with a runtime of 1 hour and 34 minutes and a budget of $2 million, with surprisingly a box office of $2.3 million, on a rating of 80% on the Rotten Teas. We open to a power plant practically in the backyard of a suburban home. So I love already off the bat here, I love what they're doing. Just the aspect of cool, we got mutant people walking around this town. I just have a theory that everybody is a little fucked up wherever they live because of this power plant, literally. But it's like they live in Springfield. What the fuck?
It looks very Simpsons. Where you get the three-eyed fish.
Yeah, exactly. It's just this town is Springfield. So it's just interesting enough. But I love what they're doing here. I love what they're doing in terms of giving us more contextual clues, as not everybody here is okay, I guess. Yeah. A couple watches their children sitting in a small pool as he splashes water on in his sister, quote unquote, direction. Bill calls out to his son Brad to play nicely with Dawn, calling her his sister. He's pissed, reminding his dad that she's not his sister. Kim has Bill drop it before he gets too upset, and he's looking initially at Kim and is just well, I hope to be her father, or something like that. We're just I hope to be her sister soon, or something like that. I was okay, interesting context. It made me wonder, where's the other person in this scenario, right? Where is Dawn's father? Where is Brad's mother? Obviously, Brad has terrible mommy issues. Literally named his dog Mother.
Yeah.
And he's extremely abusive to his dog as well. So a lot of very interesting, I guess,
underlying
layers.
Themes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's layers to Brad. Not good ones, but there's layers to this guy.
Yeah.
Not good ones, though. But as we continue, Brad goes back to showing his penis to Dawn, wanting her to show her vagina. Mind you, these are literal children. I don't know what the term is for something like this to happen, but I do know that there is a term that is out there when another kid sexually assaults another kid.
Yeah.
I don't know what that term is exactly, but
yeah, it's something that can happen. I don't know the term for it either.
I'm a little nervous to look that up too. So
let's not.
I think I'm gonna hold off on that.
This is probably a perfect time to say a lot of trigger warnings for anyone who's listening to the podcast, of course. This does jump into a lot of heavy themes, especially with sexual assault.
Indeed.
So if anyone feels uncomfortable, our podcast is not worth it. Shut it off. Don't listen. But if you can listen, obviously trigger warning ahead for everything that's for this movie.
Yeah. It's a harsh movie, and it doesn't hold back the punches. So does not hold back. And I think that's why he delved a little bit more into the comedy aspect behind it as well.
If there was no comedy in this movie, this would be a heavy ass movie.
Be a rough one. This would be a rough one.
Extremely dark.
Even with the comedy, still is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. He wails in pain. Both parents run up to ensure that he's okay as Brad shows his gnawed finger. They check on Dawn, but she doesn't respond. Title card and sequence with traveling cells being hijacked. You know what? Bring these back.
I love
we don't
a title
have
card.
A good title
credit
sequence.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore. And bring those back. It was such a goddamn staple in filmmaking.
Right.
Everyone done it, and it was so great. It was so fun. It gave you aspects of a paper trail of what you're going to get yourself into, and I think that's great.
You know who's a master of that is my husband James Wan.
Why was I?
That is
thinking about
very
it? You said that
true.
out loud. That's so sick. Yeah.
Yeah, Malignant has a great.
And Dead Silence has a really
all
good
of
one.
them is really good. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Man, goated.
People are not going to know this, but Actually, this episode's coming way after, but Malignant is actually coming back in theaters at the Alamo Draft House, and I'm so excited. So
when is
I
that?
can't wait to see.
I'm so envious.
Technically this Tuesday, which is August 3rd, but sorry guys, if you're listening now, you missed your chance. I went.
Damn.
That's good.
Damn, I win. We're recording this on July 30th, to mind you, but in the future. Oh man, that would be awesome because I actually did not get to catch that one in theaters.
Me either.
So that would be really cool. I technically no longer live by an Alamo Draft House anymore, so there's that. But yeah, sad boy. Oh, real quick. So there is a town here in California that reminds me of this town that they live in. It's called Los Baños, and it literally translates to the bathrooms. And
it does.
Yeah, and it is an area where you drive through, and it's kind of like a pit stop town. But people do live in this town. There's literally power plants and then fast food. And they're across the street from each other. And I'm just like, there's no fucking way in hell that this shit is not contaminated. There's no way.
Yeah.
That's why they're always going to the bathroom.
Definitely contaminated. That's why you go to the bathroom. Los Baños,
Like every time they eat,
California.
they're like, you go, nope.
Yeah, gotta
Los
go.
Baños.
Yeah.
It's a really
Not
shitty
to be
town.
confused. It is. It is. Yeah. Not to be confused with the back rooms, but the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, can you imagine that'd be the sequel?
The
All
bathrooms.
right, let's move on. Fade to an older Dawn talking to a group of kids.
Before we move on from that beginning, I think it's really important that the very first thing we see in this movie is Dawn being sexually assaulted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they don't show it in a graphic way. You know, it's children,
no.
it's implied. You can understand what's going on there. But she's maybe 3 in this school.
Yeah.
And, like, it sets the tone for how Dawn approaches the rest of her life. She sees sex as very dangerous, which we'll get into. And then is assaulted multiple times by multiple different men in her life. And so it's like she learned very early on, like, sex is danger, and she took that forward with her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It truly does speak to her character throughout the rest of the film as well. Fade to an older Dawn talking to a group of kids about the importance of abstinence until marriage, showcasing their purity rings. Not gonna lie, the purity ring looked kind of fire. It's like a ruby. It looked cool.
Red. It was cool.
It was really cool. And I was like, damn, I want to be pure. Afterward, while another speaker is talking about the wrongs of masturbation and oral sex, she's chatting with her friends Gwen and Phil. For some reason, IMDb has her name as Alicia.
It's not.
Definitely not Alicia. So I was very confused there. Sharing how much she misses them before revealing that her mom's sick again. Toby, the dude making eyes at Dawn during her speech, approaches them and they introduce him to her. And I guess he's like their friend from whatever, and he's going to be coming to their school soon. He shouts her out for them getting 27 new pledges, flirtatiously expressing the power behind how she talked about abstinence. Dawn rides her bike back home to visit her mom. She shares how well it went, kissing her mom as her stepdad comes back in, handing Kim some tea. Her stepdad seemed like a very nice guy. Like, usually in these types of movies, you get, like, the stepdad is a fucking asshole, but her stepdad genuinely cared. Yeah, he cared. And that was refreshing to see. I hate to make this comparison right now, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's all I can think about. It reminds me of Bluey. And the reason why I bring this up is because Bluey is kind of like the main show that has shown very positive family structures in terms of, like, the parents. I'm not saying that, like, where she lives is a very positive environment. Brad is there, and I'm sure he's probably tried sexually assaulting her other times. I mean, we get actually another scene of him sexually assaulting her again in the shower when he's hiding behind the shower naked while she's trying to brush her teeth. But, so, there we go. They're concerned about how she's feeling, but Kim wants to change the subject, so Dawn shares that her friends say hi. And great way to change the subject to at least to something slightly more positive. Kim compliments their will, suggesting that it was different in their time. Realizing that they slightly offended Dawn, they express that both their kids are a blessing, as Brad blasts some heavy music in the background. Cuts her brushing her teeth, not noticing her stepbrother in the shower until he opens it and he scares her. So this is what I mean by yet another incident of sexual assault here. And one thing that I really like what Mitchell does here is that he has portrayal of sexual assault in so many different ways within this movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like he covers it a lot in very meaningful ways, where this scene here, if you are not really truly paying attention, like, for example, as a teenage boy watching this in 2007 and 2008, I wouldn't have caught this as being a sexual assault moment. However, when as you really pulled back the layers there, no, that dude is naked when she's it's supposed to be in a private space, and he opens up the shower curtain or whatever, and it's just, or she opens it, right? And he's
right, because she's about to hop in the shower.
He's like,
she wants to take a shower, so
yeah.
It's so fucking lame. And it's like, how long are you there? Like, what?
Yeah,
Just,
like in 2000, I thought this movie came out in 2007, but you said 2008 before, so I'm trying to adjust my mind. It
technically did come out in 2007. However, it wasn't
Festival
officially
runs.
released. Exactly.
So at that time, we wouldn't have called that sexual assault in our culture, in our society. Like we played that kind of thing for jokes, for laughs. There were, think of all the sex comedies, teenage sex comedies, and even other horror movies at the time where sexually assaulting women is a joke. And so this movie knows it's bad, but in society, we weren't saying it yet. Like, we didn't know how to say it yet. And that makes this movie age really well, because now we know how to talk about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This movie was ahead of its time, for sure.
Truly. And I think that's why it's such a great movie that you can pair with so many different things in this day and age. It's a fantastic movie, and I feel like it's not talked about that much.
It's not,
but
not enough.
It's a really, really great movie. She's trying to listen to music while bedazzling her shirt for tomorrow, which I thought was adorable. I totally was into bedazzling. I would bedazzle my shoes. I was a big sneakerhead.
Oh, that's fun.
And I bedazzled my Nikes, and I was like, cool, I'm the only person who had these Nikes because I bedazzled mine. And it was,
one of a kind.
It was definitely a phase. But she's distracted by Brad shooting his BB gun at the wall while smoking. The following day, Dawn rides to school, taking a deep breath before knowing that she's going to be shat on by others. And she's like so prepared for it. She's like so just like tunnel vision. Like, let me just fucking get through this. Like, whatever. And this is probably the first initial sign of like, oh, okay, it's also a comedy. Like, this is where you're getting
it's satirical with like, let's be over the top for this, but at the same
not
time,
another teen
it's screaming
movie.
out loud. Teens do this as well.
Well, 100%.
It's not trying to be like,
100%.
no, this is
They're
real,
brutal.
but over saturated. Just as like drive the point is like, no, teenagers could be really awful human beings, and they are.
Yeah,
still are. I'm looking at you, teenagers listening right now. Fucking be better.
Grow up.
Like that one teenager sitting there right now is like, what the fuck did I do? Like,
especially
I love what we learned
Tim.
about Dawn in this scene. We learn how self-assured she is.
Yeah.
And I don't know where she got that self-assuredness. I mean, her parents seem supportive, but also they're really wrapped up in their own stuff, understandably. And like Brad's a huge hassle. And so I think a lot of her strength just comes from inside herself. And she's really into her purity culture cult. And it's a little cult.
Oh, 100%.
And everybody's literally like descending on her to bully her and pick on her. And she's just like smiling and walking towards her friends. And I'm just like, holy shit, you're really strong.
Yeah. Like not even remotely bothered by this moment. for sure. Like, and that's why I mentioned where it's like, this feels the most like teen comedy moment here, where there's a lot of people jumping in and out, talking shit, bantering, and the guy trips Ryan. He trips in front of her, and all this, or I guess he's pushed, but it's
a lot
just
happening.
There's so much happening in this moment, but it feels like something like a bit out of not another teen movie.
Yeah.
Where it's just it feels like everything is just coming out of nowhere, but yet she just confidently walks up to her friends. She walks through the crowd of those making fun of her. She spots her friends so they can go inside, and during sex ed, they're learning about the male and female anatomy. But the diagram of the woman's vagina is covered by a sticker, causing the students to complain. This is actually kind of funny to me because the teacher feels extremely uncomfortable doing this, and I'm sure they are all uncomfortable. It's just like, God damn it, we got to do this in our curriculum and blah blah blah. I don't even know if like sex ed is like that much of a thing anymore.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I feel like that's also part of the problem. It's like this movie kind of shows both sides of the coin. It shows the overprotectiveness about sex, but also the lack of education around sex too.
Yes.
Where they're censoring their capabilities of learning about their own bodies, which is in itself something that's really wrong as well. So there's a lot of like sexual repression as well in this movie, which I felt like that was a really good topic to talk about. It's like, yeah, of course there's going to be people who are absolutely terrified because you're also not teaching the kids proper sex education. We're just like, yeah, this is also a big obstacle inside the movie itself. Which I like that she even, as like she's going along in her journey, she's the one that's able to like uncensor it later on, kind of like learning more about herself and her body and more about her, which I found that's a very interesting way to like tell a story too. This is a really great aspect of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. This is something that really speaks volumes in terms of just almost today, right? Where we're getting a lot of censorship here in the US. There's states that are being censored. Like I just recently found out that Texas has like a major censorship going on right now in terms of like certain websites. All of these different aspects of this censor culture is something that has always been on topic with a lot of things. Like it's always changing of like what's considered appropriate versus not for a certain age or a certain demographic of people. Like for example, PG-13. PG-13 used to be able to have boobs in it, and now you can't. Like Little Nicky was technically PG-13, and do I have boobs on my head? Yeah, big ones. Like it's just like, you know, it's just so it's just like that all of that like it's just now has changed. Like PG-13 movies totally cannot do that anymore. And PG movies used to be able to swear, and now that doesn't happen anymore. And it's just like if Jaws was re-released now, it will definitely not get a PG rating. So it's interesting to see how for our country, I can't speak for other countries, but for our country, just because we're able to see it firsthand on how we are changing censorship in terms of books, in terms of film, in terms of kind of whatever. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard the criticism behind Christopher Nolan's Odyssey, but Christopher Nolan said he was inspired by a particular woman's book of how she translated Homer's Odyssey. And she fucking shat on the movie.
Like,
it was
just
just
atrocious.
like
Fair enough.
She was like he censored everything. Where was the like? It was just, she's like, sure, it looked pretty. She's like, but like, where was the sex? Where was this? And where was this? And it was, she obliterated it and initially said that like it was watered down. It was just a watered down version of the Odyssey. And granted, I loved the Odyssey. I thought it was great, but I also am not a person who fucking translated the Odyssey. So like I feel like she has every right to say that, especially if Christopher Nolan's going to go and say like, oh, I was heavily inspired by her translation. Well, then she has every right to kind of shit on it for being a watered down version of what she translated. So
yeah,
but
I was thinking about the new Faces of Death, and I won't say spoilers about it, but that movie really reckons with the fact that in our culture right now, we're much more comfortable with violence than we are with sex, which maybe has been true for a long time, but that movie's specifically talking about right now. And I think we see that when it comes to what we're censoring. We feel a lot more comfortable with violence in a PG-13 movie than we do with breasts, even though breasts are neutral. They're just
Very
a neutral
neutral
body part.
Yep.
Then violence is usually not neutral. And I think like we just really got to get our heads on straight as a society about like why and how are we going to fix that? And I think regarding the sticker on the textbook in Teeth, Dawn starts talking about how girls have a natural modesty and so we have to cover it up. And like, sorry if I'm going to trigger anybody who doesn't like this term, but like that's rape culture. That is part of the structure that blames women of saying the vagina is secret and we can't talk about it and we can't see it. It's your responsibility to keep this hidden away. And if anybody gets at it, it's your fault for not keeping it hidden away well enough. And like that little sticker in that little textbook is like one of the bricks in the structure of rape culture. But we didn't have that term back then.
Damn. God. See, okay. I am so happy you're on this episode right now because you're a scholar of the arts and I truly appreciate every aspect of what you're talking about right now. So yes,
if by the arts you mean trashy 2000s horror movies, then yes, I am a scholar.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the arts. Absolutely. I mean, we are talking to the author of Millennial Nasties after all.
No, that is true.
Outspoken student Ryan challenges the teacher and the board's decision on covering the diagram. They all rip the sticker and page. He doesn't understand why they're allowed to look at diagrams of penises, and Dawn raises her hand to share how modest women are, that being the difference. The class erupts in laughter except for Toby, who agrees with her. She's right! Well, out with her, she's like, I am right. Well, out with her friends, they all go to see a movie. Phil points out an R-rated movie, and they all groan that they're not allowed to watch due to their morals, so they choose a child-friendly movie instead. And he was like, I just heard it was good. I'm not saying we should watch it. He's just totally like looking at his girlfriend like, we should fucking watch that shit when we get a chance. Like, Toby notices that Phil and Dawn are kissing, with him wanting to do the same. Or, excuse me, not Phil and Dawn. Whoop. Phil and Gwen are kissing, and with him wanting to do the same with Dawn. Meanwhile, Brad is hanging out with his girlfriend, Melanie. Oh, I felt so bad for this girl. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
When she asks about his scar on his finger. He claims that it happened when he was a child, thinking that Dawn bit it. She's confused, so he changes the subject by having her go back to smoking some weed, which he obviously remembers very clearly. Like, this is how that happened. But I love when he forgets. After the movie, Dawn and friends go to the make-out spot in the woods, passing up the ever-growing toxic plant. And this goes back to what you were saying, Freddie, in terms of like satirical nature of this film. This is that satire that we were talking about, right? Like
for sure.
Every teen movie has a make-out spot in the forest or whatever, right? It's just like, we gotta hide here and make out. And I mean, you and I both grew up in a city, Freddie. Ariel, I'm not too sure where you grew up, but okay. Did you have a location such as this where you grew up?
Yes.
Wow.
There were a couple of makeout spots. And the cops would, so I lived in a really small town and you could count the cops. There were 4 cop cars. And so like if you had already passed all 4 of them for the night, you knew they were behind you and then you could just speed. But also like the cops would come do around in the makeout spots and not really bother anybody, but just kind of shine the lights in the cars and be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And so if all the cop cars were behind you, you know you had some time at the makeout spot. So yeah, follow me for more hick stories like that.
That is so great. That is so great.
That's so well planned too. That's so
truly. Yeah, truly.
Counting cops was a whole thing.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But there's downsides to living in a small town like that. Like I got pulled over in front of the gas station at lunchtime one time, and by the time I got back to school after lunch, my teachers had found out that I had got pulled over and gave me shit for it.
Oh jeez. This is legit. This kind of reminds me of like Clown in a Cornfield or something. Like I felt like you lived in that town. Yeah.
I think it'd be funny. It's like the cop is also your teacher because it's such a small town.
You know what? Yeah.
It's so fun.
Oh my God.
It wasn't the case. It wasn't the case.
Okay.
None of the cops were also teachers, but one of my really good friends was the chief of police, and so we had to act good at her house.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, I don't want you to dox yourself, but so do you still live there?
No, I don't.
Okay, are you willing to name the town? You don't have to.
I'll say I grew up in Michigan. So
Okay, you grew up in Michigan. We could also bleep it as well, so you don't.
I grew up in Michigan.
Okay, perfect.
I don't live there anymore.
Yeah. Don doesn't feel that it is a good idea, but Toby swears that they'll police each other. Though we were just talking about police. They walk toward the cave where teens so-called fuck. I guess back with Brad and Melanie finishing up their assumingly, I guess, anal sex session. So this is very interesting in terms of like, oh, he sounds like he's scared to have sex with a vagina. So,
Yeah, I think
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah. But also I'm like, you just wrapping up anal sex like that? There's
I know,
you don't gotta do any cleanup or anything. She's just putting her I was like,
done.
okay, sure. The person who wrote this knows
Doesn't
for sure.
know anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to make the comparison, but it feels like when you know how like a little kid touches the stove for the first time, it's like, oh, that's hot. I'm not going to touch that again.
Yep.
He had that same experience where it's like, I know what happens if I do anything around that. And that's forever like his trauma.
Yeah. She complains about it, but he's a fucking asshole with terrible mommy issues, going to feed his dog Mother some treats before almost getting bit. Melanie finds that he'll get what he deserves and takes this moment to flirt with another dog biscuit. Like he's literally putting a dog biscuit in her mouth. And I'm just like thinking to myself, I'm like, girl, you were letting this go on way too long. Like this time for trying to seductively feed it to her, even though she's not into it. Don and Toby are talking about her reasons behind her abstinence. He expresses his guilt about masturbating one time 1.5 years ago, which I assume that's what he was talking about. It didn't sound like he had sex. Like he just said in terms of like,
Yeah, I wasn't really sure.
yeah, because he said he was like, no, I'm still a virgin in his eyes. So like I assume that was just like something in terms of like he's guilty for masturbating, so therefore,
Yeah, that could be.
So that's kind of how I took it as. You know who this guy like this? I was looking at this guy and I was like, this guy looks oddly familiar to me. He's from The Magicians. If you guys have seen that show on Sci-Fi,
I have not.
you guys aren't missing much. You're not missing much. So we'll leave it there. She makes him feel better by explaining how much stronger he is now. Back at home, Dawn kisses her sleeping mother before turning the light off. She's about to shut off the TV, enamored by the large creature before forcing it off. Do we know what movie this was? It looked like They, but not sure.
I didn't look it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't look it up either, but it looks like They, but I'm not entirely
Old
sure. Or
creature
them.
film,
I think
black
it's them.
and white. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was ants, if it was an ant, or if it was something else like
Like
the
a scorpion.
ant. A
Right,
scorpion,
some type of
exactly. Like it was
insect.
hard to really tell.
Big old chompers.
Yeah, it got some mandala bays on its cheeks. So there you go. While in bed, Don.
I was going to say something stupid, and I'm glad I stopped myself. Never mind.
Oh, as dumb as Mandela Bays? Please. Please, outdo me. I need something.
So I'll have my own boundaries today.
While in bed, Dawn prepares to touch herself, thinking about Toby on their wedding day. It's like, wow, she jumped really far. Before realizing what she's doing, repeating purity before turning over into bed. Purity, purity, purity. And I was like, girl, same. During class, their teacher is talking about how diamondback snakes developed a mutation that was necessary for survival. This is interesting. I had to look this up in terms of where the rattle actually come from for rattlesnakes. And it was not a survival technique that it came from. It was something else entirely. This mutation came from something as a warning system for other surrounding creatures.
Oh.
Yeah, it was super interesting. It was just like, because I was thinking about it, I was like, that doesn't really kind of make that much sense when the rattle... It's pretty much like get the fuck away from me kind of thing.
Right.
Like I'm
this
venomous.
is your warning.
Like,
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so I had to look it up, and no, that was not correct. Movie. Toby is sitting there waiting for Dawn, who showed up late to class. She completely just passes homeboy right on up. He has a seat saved for her, but obviously she's feeling a little such and such because of her. Yeah, because of her thoughts last night.
Purity. Yes.
Yeah,
we're good.
It's kind of like that concept of like, if it's not around you, you won't feel it, or something like that. It's just out of sight, out of mind kind of concept here.
Yeah.
He whispers a greeting, but she ignores him, sitting away from him before she's called out by the teacher. While Toby is in the locker room, he receives a call from Dawn. One thing that I also want to point out as well, even though this movie is very much, this is kind of to your point as well, Ariel, even though this movie very much is about a woman's vagina, there is a lot of like male body parts, right? Like in this particular scene right here, in this locker room, we get 2 locker room scenes. We also get Dawn in her locker room, but in her locker room, it's close up. And we could see girls in the background all with their clothes on. None are in towels or anything like that. They all have their clothes on. But in this scene, we got men who are or teen boys who are taking showers, and they're in their towels where it's waist down. And he even answers his phone while he still has his towel on.
Which, the movie itself is showing a great representation of what the biology book is. It's like, hey, male anatomy could be wide shot, in frame, everything, where everything else has to be a little bit hidden with the female body, which gets a little bit more revealed later on. I think they actually show more female parts little by little throughout the runtime, where she uncensors that book as well. The movie does the exact same thing. It's like, show the male parts, show the guys naked, but we still want to keep the women hidden a little bit. So I felt like maybe that was an intention. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but if he did, amazing. That he was able to, like,
even if he did it, amazing. Like, it's a great thing you pointed out there.
Who knows if he's smart enough to get that done, right? It's like, but it works. It works perfectly for the film. It's like, oh yeah, that's a great contrast between literally the biology book and what's happening with the 2 locker room scenes. Is like, you can show the males. Even like the whole concept of like guys being shirtless and girls can't. This conversation is still as important now as it was back then and even further back. But I totally agree with you. That I noticed that as well.
And even in the way movies are rated, like the male butts will not give you as high a rating as female butts.
Right.
And I do want to point out that in a movie about vaginas, we don't even get a vulva, but we get 3 separate dicks.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I understand,
all
like,
separated.
if you show a vulva, that'll get you NC-17.
Yeah.
But as a society, should we think about why we're comfortable seeing a dick? And that doesn't get, that'll get an R rating, but a vulva will get you NC-17. Like, even as we're talking about this movie, we can't separate it from the systems that it's within.
Yeah. We live in a patriarchy. She admits that she wasn't herself this morning, wanting them to no longer hang out. He reluctantly agrees as she tears up, admitting how in sync they are. While at home, Dawn is reading about mythologies, enamored by Medusa. So yet another snake-related reference as well. And I love how it's all coming back to empowerment and also just being yourself. A crash from outside her room as Brad and his girlfriend are arguing outside. Dawn goes to check in with Brad, wanting to speak with him about his relationship. Doesn't give a fuck about all that. So she doesn't understand why they haven't been close, wanting them to be more like siblings. This sick little shit thinks that she's saving herself for him, wanting her to sleep with him. Disgusted and frustrated, she leaves, and he even mentions that line where she's like, "What, are you scared?" And I love that we flip that around where she turns that back around on him. Mm-hmm. Ending up at the makeout spot, calling Toby to meet up with her. Bro speeds over like he's in fucking Fast and the Furious racing Vin Diesel right goddamn now. She nervously smiles that she brought her bathing suit. They are giddy as they rush toward him. They're like giddy. He's like, oh, like they're like frolicking to the lake.
They are. Yeah.
After expressing how much they've been thinking about each other, they jump and swim in the water, sharing a kiss as they both admit that this is not feeling wrong as they continue kissing and laughing together. It's this moment where, like, you get, this very much reminds me of like Bear in Obsession, where we have the nice guy, right? And it's very much the nice guy who has very ulterior motives here.
100%.
Yeah, because like in this moment, I was picturing him as a villain because he's taking, in my eyes, it seems like he's taking advantage of Dawn because he's like, yeah, no, this doesn't feel wrong at all. Like, whereas just like in reality, it's like, yeah, dude, you've obviously have been thinking about this and plotting this and wanting to have this moment since you first laid eyes on her. So
I'm happy you brought this up because I was going to bring it up when his dick was going to. Well, I won't spoil what's going to happen to him because that's coming up soon. But I absolutely fucking hated this character. I was waiting for something to happen to him because I was just like, from the start, from the very beginning, like you said it, as soon as he was like watching her do the speech in the beginning of the movie, I'm just like, you're just going to say anything and we'll do anything for that alternative motive of like, I know what we're doing the entire time. And it's like just seeing it kind of play out and and she's kind of like falling a little bit into the romance, but it's like I really wanted something bad to happen to him, but we'll get there. I'm happy you brought this up. Please, Prince, continue to the best part of this movie.
I shall.
or not best part, it's worst part, but you know what I mean.
He starts touching her breast before she takes his hand, reminding him about their pledge to purity. They swim inside a cave, getting out to warm on some blankets that are already there. First of all, gross.
Yeah,
like, secondly,
disgusting.
She gets out first and she wants him to like stay in the water, and he uses the excuse, I'm freezing. Initially, she feels bad and she's like, okay, I guess we could share this nasty ass blanket that's been here for God knows how long.
Probably covered in bugs.
Yeah. This was disgusting. They start making out slightly more intensely before. How did they even get it over there without getting it wet?
That's where like people hook up. And that's like their
it is where people hook up, but like
everyone uses.
How did the hookuppers
carry it over your head like in war when you have a gun?
Exactly. But then there's a waterfall there, so I guess you just leave it there and let it dry. I don't know. So it's probably moldy. It's probably a moldy blanket. So it's just yeah, exactly.
All the
just if you get. Just like there's probably so much like just like chlamydia, gonorrhea, all on this fucking blanket right now. Disgusting. They start making out slightly more intensely before she gets uncomfortable, wanting to go back. He agrees before stopping her, kissing her chest. She demands that he get off, reminding him again of their sacred promise. He pulls his tighty-whities down, ignores her cries as she shouts off no, and her fists fighting back. He hits her in the head on the rock, dazing her. Granted, seemed like he did this on an accident. However, what he does next is not. Toby apologizes by then forcing his dick inside of her, raping her as she screams no. With the sound of just bliss of snapping flesh, she doesn't understand what just happened as he starts to cry and scream, pushing him off to show that her vagina just ripped his dick clean off. He cries for her to get away before jumping in the water, and then Dawn gains her composure a bit, noticing the other half of Toby's dick on the ground. She calls for him, but doesn't receive an answer. After waiting a bit, but he never comes out of the water, she rides home, heads straight for the shower, declining her mom's offer for food, and she prays for this message of our sponsors. And we're back, and we got to talk about that scene. We just have to skip over all that stuff so we can get to the sponsors because we actually will get demonetized. So had to wait that 10-second there. But now we're here. We're going to talk about this scene. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God.
He got what he deserved and deserves a lot worse. But
100%. First of all, like Toby doing what he did is insane. And you immediately know that like that's where it's going.
Yeah,
when
unfortunately.
He is already starting to kiss her, like that's where it's going. And the amount of like sheer abuse in this moment and like the brutality in this moment, while also trying to facade softness, where he's like, you don't even have to move. Like, it's like you're still a virgin. and in like all this stuff where he's still trying to be gentle while also doing the most heinous, brutal act you can possibly do to someone. Oh, fuck, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I hate but love that this movie does not hold back, because it shouldn't hold back with these moments. But this is where it's like, yeah, there's not a moment of comedy in this moment, which is obviously the smartest decision this director is doing right now. But then you get this outcome, which I'm just like, yeah, it's satisfying what happens to him, because this is what you hope happens to every person who ever tries to do this kind of stuff.
100%.
Yeah, it's such a heartbreaking scene, and it was a tough scene to watch. You know, I mean, I hate watching this on movies, but at the same time, I understand the importance of it in movies and the way how it could be tastefully depicted, and not like, yeah. It's by far the toughest scene in this movie. Well, actually, no, there's so many tough scenes in this movie. It's so hard to watch.
You know, I think rape scenes should have the sheer brutality behind it, because it is something that is purely uncomfortable, right? For both the viewer and the objectification that's happening on screen here.
Right. It should be uncomfortable. It should make you feel some type of way. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, the ones that I feel like don't get depicted a lot are like male rape scenes. Sure. Like, for example, Midsommar does a really good job with that particular scene. It was something in when I first immediately watched it, I was like, I don't know why this makes me feel so uncomfortable, until I realized, like, oh, he is being raped right now.
Yep.
So like it's things like that that kind of trail on and trail on and trail on, and I feel like this is reminiscent of kind of that Midsommar, because he, like I said, like Toby is trying to add this kind of layer of softness to him raping her. God damn, dude, like it is such an intense moment, and it's something that a very you got what you deserved thing. And then immediately afterwards, the most heartbreaking piece is that she feels guilty.
Yeah.
Like in her mind, she's like, I should have just stayed there and he would still be here, and so on. Like, you know, and obviously she doesn't say this stuff, but like it's just, I can only imagine what she's thinking in this moment. But you can tell immediately she feels guilty, and she's blaming herself for what happened to Toby when it clearly was not her fault. So
it's hard to say you're a fan of rape revenge movies, you know, but I find them really compelling and interesting, and I've watched a lot of them, and I think that they're really important. And one of the things that I think is really interesting about this scene here is that it's pretty realistic, especially compared to other rape revenge movies. You think like the classic example of I Spit on Your Grave, like horrifying to watch, but also not a very realistic scenario. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie MFA, but that's another rape revenge movie. That has the most realistic rape scene I've ever seen, and it's by far the hardest to watch.
is that the college one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is...
I have not seen it, but I've heard major depictions of how brutal that one is.
Yeah, and it's because it's so realistic. And I think in Teeth, this rape scene is pretty realistic, where she's like, I am saying no, I am telling you no, and he physically overpowers her. Yeah. And it's another hallmark of rape culture that he sees her as a masturbatory vessel. He says, you don't have to move, you don't have to do anything. I haven't jacked off since Easter. She's just a fleshlight for him in that moment. And in society, the idea that sex is something that happens to a woman, that a man does to a woman, instead of sex being something that people do, it's coming from that purity culture where women have to save themselves. And it's all just wrapped up in this horrible ball that leads us to where we are.
Yeah. And then it turns out most of those people in that purity circle are all part of a sex cabal anyway. So there you
Probably.
She prays while also trying to calm her nerves from her experience. While trying to sleep, the screams of Toby echo in her mind as she cries. Once again, blaming herself. We just talked about it. In the morning, she rips all of her marriage mood boards clippings off the wall. Brad lies in his bed listening to her ripping. Her friends pick her up to take her to the next purity seminar. Thinking that Dawn is nervous about the speech, they try to cheer her up, letting her know that Toby is supposed to be there. She's shocked, wondering if they saw him recently. But it was a couple of days ago. So she goes back to wallow in her guilt. She begins her seminar in this almost cult-like setting of kids chanting scripture-like sayings. This was something. This was genuinely one of the scariest parts of this movie where I was just like, fucking hell, this is, oh my God.
You nailed it. It's a cult, for sure.
It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult.
I thought she was dreaming it.
It felt like
wasn't.
it. It felt like it was very much like Requiem for a Dream, like with the whole scenes of her, the mom. Exactly. Yeah, it was something like that. Like it felt like that. It was very, very uncomfortable. Ariel, did you grow up religious at all, or?
No, my parents are hippies.
Oh hell yeah! Wow.
Yeah, they were much more comfortable with sex than violence. So
that's awesome. Damn.
Make love, not war. Absolutely.
Yes.
There you go.
Very different vibe.
Yeah. That's cool.
You guys are learning so much about me.
We really are. We really are. She starts talking about what is possibly lethal living inside of her as she no longer feels pure. The kids chant that it is the serpent. Once again, our third reference to a snake. She argues that she doesn't know what it is. They whisper that it is the serpent before Mr. Vincent takes over. I don't know much about like Greek mythology in terms of Medusa, but I do know Medusa's sheer power is of a Gorgon, where she has the ability of turning men into stone.
Yeah.
We get our first aspect of her using her kind of Gorgonism powers later, but it is something fascinating about the aspect of consistently using the serpent, and serpent being the one that strikes, the one that also is patient, the one that has the ability of giving warning signs. We're getting so many different layers behind what that means, where we start with the diamondback analogy, then we move on to Medusa, and then from Medusa, we now have the serpent, which is typically in vein of the devil when we're using the word the serpent. So it's very fascinating.
Phallic, of course. And
that as well.
The snake is the one who tricks Eve into eating the apple from the fruit of knowledge. And so a phallic symbol brought a woman to her downfall, and the woman got blamed for it.
Yeah.
That's what we see happening here.
Darn tootin'. Damn. Once again, very happy you're here. The kids are all dancing afterward. Ryan shows up with his mom's car, taking her back home. Before she gets out of the car, he asks her on a date. Dawn is puzzled as she looks at him before chuckling at his business card he gives. What the fuck?
Can I tell you guys about a time I got a business card from a dude?
Yes. Please do. No hesitation. Yeah, please.
So, okay. Have you seen Mean Girls where Kevin G has the little business cards? I swear to God, it was just like that.
Oh,
I was at the mall.
That's so funny.
And you know how teenagers used to go up to each other in the mall.
Yeah.
And so this guy came up and wanted to give me his number, and he had little business cards. And I wish I could remember what it said, because it was something so stupid that was like, he gave himself a little title and like a catchphrase. And I was just like, dude, this is rough, man.
Line. That's crazy.
I wish I still had it. I'm sure I threw it away, but like now it's like a relic of a time period.
That is hilarious.
I'm like, did you go to Vistaprint? Like,
100%.
This episode is brought to you by Vistaprint.
Print 100 of these. It's gonna work.
I hope he's happy. I hope he has a nice life. He was very polite.
Well, that's if you have a business card, you should be. Claiming that it isn't him before grabbing her bike and leaving. But Ryan, the incel, doesn't notice, upset, wanting an explanation as to what's so funny about it. Brad answers the door, telling Ryan that he's out of his league before punching him in the face. Because Brad apparently really loves Dawn. But Ryan is very much coded in, like I said, like we have said this so many times already, but like this movie is such ahead of its time that Ryan is very much coded in kind of the red pill manosphere type of mentality that is seen time and time again today. And it is such a shame. And when you get the aspects of like, to the point where Dawn is starting to like him almost in a like she is not physically attracted to him, but
Right.
she likes him enough to be like, oh, okay, like you seem genuine. She had a genuine connection with him in the moments that they had later that was initially just stolen away from her in the most crazy way possible. But
Yeah.
goddamn. Meanwhile, Dawn is at the site where she last saw Toby. His car is still there. She swims into the cave, screaming at the sight of his rotting crab-eaten penis. She surveys the swim hole from a cliff, understanding now that he's dead, no longer considering herself pure. Taking off the ring, hesitating to drop it below. Back at home, Dawn soaks the page from her anatomy book to remove the sticker. Surprised by the image, she carefully handles the page, inspecting it. Next thing you know, she's on her computer searching for mutations of her vagina because she realizes that her vagina does not look like that one. So she's like, huh,
Research.
that's how they're supposed to look, eh? So we get obviously the iconic research scene that every horror movie has to have. It's either going to be a library, the news, or the internet. So like we have to have it. So yeah, finding an article about vagina dentata. Vagina dentata. Reading about how a man must, quote, do battle with her vagina to break her power, end quote. Well, this feels like very much man talk here.
Yeah. I was going to say, we simply don't have time to unpack all of that.
This feels very.
They made this
very,
like a
very
like a horror,
manly.
or no, like a hero origin story. Like you have special
Yeah.
powers. You're learning all about yourself. With great with great power comes great
Great power comes
responsibility.
great responsibility.
Well, I was kind of
Yup.
like, so a man has to fuck her into submission. That's what
That's
we're
how I
saying here?
took it. Yeah, that's how
And
I
I
took
was
it.
like, why?
Yeah.
Let her have the tooth vagina. Like,
Yeah.
leave her alone. But obviously, I'm bringing a bias to this movie.
Which is why we didn't need two guys talking about it. So her VO continues as she rides immediately into to the clinic. Dr. Gottfried notices her nerves and becomes a bit more gentler toward her. He reassures her as he has her scoot down the table. And this is also a very funny scene where he's like, scoot.
Can I tell you that's very real?
Oh, is it really?
It really is. They say scoot. Anybody who out there who has had a pap smear knows, they tell you to scoot far so you think your ass is going to fall off the table. It's out of control. I was like, oh, they got that right.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I don't know why
Oh my
that
God.
story in Malignant in my mind from earlier. I'm like, when she parked the car too far close to the cliff slide.
Oh, that's funny.
she did really.
It's
Yeah.
right about to be on
Scoot.
the edge.
Yeah.
Scoot, 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 scoot.
Scoot.
Don't know why I coordinated the two things in my head, but there you go.
She explains how she feels something weird is going on inside of her. He assumes that she's healthy as he inspects with his forceps, asking if she's sexually active. She immediately says no, but shifts her answer to yes. He takes his glove off. Why?
Because he's a
He's a
sick
fucking-
perv.
yeah.
I was going to
exactly.
say, okay, like this is him sexually assaulting her now
Yes.
because it's just, okay, now you're no longer being professional. So cool. Touching her and asking her how it is. And she doesn't even know what he means by that. She's like, what? And he was like, it's good. So this is assumption of like, okay, dude is fiddling around down there where he shouldn't be. He grabs his light, lubes up his hand, like drastically to test her flexibility. She's in pain, and all he can do is continue forcing his hand while also complimenting how tight she is. Before you know it, their screams are in sync as his hand gets stuck and his fingers are bitten off. This was also pretty funny because she's
like
when he
stuck
screams,
in her-
she screams. She's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
Like yeah. This is something else. But he yells that the vagina dentata is true. And he repeats it over and over again, which is also really funny. But
So this is the worst scene for me.
I can imagine because you're supposed to
Yeah.
be in a place where you should feel safe.
Exactly. And it starts really early in that scene when he says to her, "You have no idea what to expect, do you?" I was like, oh no. Oh, no,
Biggest red flag.
don't say that. Because then he uses that to his advantage, and he does all sorts of things to her that he shouldn't be
Right.
doing, and she doesn't know any better.
Right.
And yeah, the doctor is a place where you should hopefully feel safe, and pap smears are really uncomfortable, but like they shouldn't hurt like that, and she doesn't know, and her body defends her. And so like just the thought of a doctor being that way makes me sick to my stomach. So this is my hardest scene to watch.
Which is extremely fair, because it like we stated, you know, this is a place where you should be comfortable and not nervous, and you know, a doctor should be gentle in terms of like what they have to do. Obviously, they need to perform whatever they need to perform, but when you do something like this, you're fully just taking advantage of the situation, and might be TMI, but like, are most gynecologists men? Like,
I don't know. That's
I
a
don't
good
either.
question.
My wife's gynecologist is not a man, so
Yeah.
I feel like this would make her extremely uncomfortable if it was.
You don't have to go to a gynecologist for a pap smear. Your primary care provider can do that. And a lot of primary care providers are men. And so sometimes, I mean, if you have, I've had pap smears from men and women, and they've all been totally normal and fine and pretty much the same one to the other, and nothing like this, thank God. So,
God,
like,
Jesus
I
Christ.
think a lot of women will pick having a female doctor, but
Which is
if you
fair.
can't pick it, it should just be okay.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Riding her bike back home, and I like how she just dips out too. She just fucking runs. Riding her bike at home as the police speed past her, she starts counting the police cars. She spots her car that resembles Toby's. Joke from earlier, in case you guys didn't catch it for Ariel. We're good. We're going home. She spots a car that resembles Toby's, so she decides to sneak back to the crime scene to get her confirmation as they pull out his body from the water. Just disrupting, stop going back there. Dawn's had a fucking day, and it doesn't stop there when she finds her mom unconscious on the floor, crying for help as Brad is having sex with his door open, music blasting. Got to her startled awake in the hospital from a crunching noise. Bill has her head back home to get some rest. While Dawn gets home, Brad and Melanie are arguing about him being a deeply disturbed man. She gets out of there and goes to Ryan's house, banging on his garage door like she's the fucking police until he opens it. And he's like, "Mom?" He's like, "Who is it?" And like he's such a little bitch boy. She sobs that her mom is in the hospital and she wants to turn herself in for killing Toby. He's shocked, but she blames her vagina dentata. He continues sobbing about a hero needing to conquer it, and he's just like, "I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm happy you're here." Like that's pretty much how he feels. He's like, I have no idea what you're saying, but I'm stoked you're here right now. He holds her as she sobs, taking full advantage of this situation. She's chilling in a bubble bath, and Ryan comes in to give her some pills that his mom takes for her nerves, which she doesn't know what she's taking. I don't know what he gave her, but
Don't know.
I'm still taking this as like homeboy drugged her, because she's
100%.
like
Yes.
a completely different person. She's just like way too relaxed, way too flowy with it. And there's moments where I think she does sober up, but at the same time, like I think she's supposed to still be in it. I just think that was just the actor in that moment. But I think she's still supposed to be dazed initially. But yeah. Don immediately accepts them without a word. He goes back into his room, lighting a shit ton of a drastic amount of candles. Like
A dangerous amount of candles.
yeah, it's just like, dude, this is a pure fire hazard. Like,
Yeah.
she gets the
very
point. Like,
teenager.
you don't have to do all this, but yeah. Could you imagine him just taking like a blowtorch and just like fucking just like starting to just
Coconut scented. What?
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say they're all scented from Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
Or I guess at this point, because this was 2000, Bath and Body Works.
Oh yeah,
it was around.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I feel like Bed Bath Beyond was like more popular at this time.
Teenagers couldn't afford Bed Bath & Beyond.
That's fair.
We
fair.
could
That's why they
afford
went out
the
of
3
business.
for $10 candles at
Right.
Bath & Body Works.
That's fair. No, good
Warm
point. Good
vanilla
point.
sugar. All my
Yeah.
gals out there who wore the warm vanilla sugar, you know. The real ones know.
You know. We see you. Bringing her toward the bed, wanting her to go to the cops tomorrow because of the pills making her fuzzy, as he likes to put it. He hands her a drink, which she spills on herself. And this, I feel like, is like confirmation for him as like, she's primed. So, yeah. So he places her head on his shoulders. She slightly wakes up dazed while he uses a toy on her vagina. And it's just like, we don't know if there's any level of consent here. We don't know what happened in this moment because it's like the scene fades and then it comes back up to where she is in this moment. So the only assumption is that he just started doing this. So
this is to me where it's not a 5-star movie because I don't think the movie knows that this is a sexual assault, but this is another sexual assault.
Oh, without a doubt.
Like,
yeah.
The movie knows that her brother hiding in the shower is a sexual assault. We get that. But the movie doesn't seem to understand that even though she's enjoying sex, he's reading a book called How to Pleasure Your Woman and he has a vibrator. Like, what teenage boy comes to sex that prepared? So even if she's physically enjoying it, she cannot consent.
Exactly.
Which makes this a sexual assault. And I don't think the movie knows that. And that is very of its time. You know, we were still using the phrase date rape at this time. It was there were a lot of songs about getting women drunk enough to sleep with you. Like, that's the whole plot of Superbad, which is a movie I love. So, like, in the zeitgeist, it was very, like, we don't know how to talk about this.
Yeah. Right.
I'm saying zeitgeist a lot. I'm sorry. I don't know what's up with that tonight.
Great term.
Oh, it's a good.
Weird. Feels weird.
Yeah, but it makes sense for like that era, right? Because like the aughts was a zeitgeist.
Yeah.
It's very much a time where it's just like you just had to fucking be there. Like I don't know, like, you just had to be there. I don't know how to really explain it.
The way I saw it too, the transition, what you just talked about, like how it kind of like fades and comes back. I thought like she went unconscious and then she woke back up because of him.
No, she 100% did. Yeah. Like that's how I pictured it as well. Where it's just the connotation of it fading. And I think to Ari's point, sorry, I just nicknamed you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. Once again, just to your point, this kind of fade in, fade out sequence. It is supposed to be a soft, almost elegant experience where it's like, oh, this is where a change of pattern happens, where like, look, if it's consensual between two consenting adults, this can happen. But the thing is, there was no consent there. And as a viewer, especially in today's age, the assumption that I have is that like, oh no, I think it didn't work because she had pills in her. But then obviously that is, slaughtered when we get to the second sex scene of theirs, which is consenting.
Yeah.
Smiling before he puts on a condom to have sex, where he has to learn how to do that, which very scary situation. You can't put that on wrong and incorrectly. And then if you flip it, yep, not great. She tells him that he can't. He wonders if she would like for him to stop. She doesn't want him to, but she's worried that the teeth might rip that thing right off. And he's like, look, I'm the hero, and he's like playing into it. He speaks a language that she read about, needing a hero to conquer it, and they continue. Cut to the detective at the coroner's office where they found the tooth. I like how we actually get nothing else after this. I like that. Because I was thinking, I was like, we don't really need that. We don't need her to also be running from the cops.
No.
I don't need that right now. She's already dealing with a lot. The design is like a combination of a shark and an eel, but is definitely human. Back to Ryan and Don wrapping up their sexual experience, and he's safe, probably because he fucking drugged her. He chuckles that he can't believe it, and she admits that she can't believe that he's still alive. Meanwhile, Godfrey is on the operating table, ready to get his fingers reattached, forcing him to have the gas so he doesn't need to explain what happened, because he also assaulted someone. I mean, two things there. Obviously, one, his hand didn't have gloves on, so there's no severed gloves anywhere. So, it's just like, you're gonna have to explain that one. Back with Dawn, looking at herself naked in the mirror, and she's feeling herself. She's like, I actually look kind of good. So, she's feeling herself, which good for you.
Yeah,
sucks that you had to go through that experience to get there, but she's there. And I think I think you honestly hit the nail right on the head, Ari, where you said that, like, oh, yeah, no, the movie doesn't know that this was also sexual assault that happened as well. She puts her clothes on to get ready to head to the cops, but he pulls out the vibrator toy. So they get back to business and everything's going well and great until he gets a phone call from his friend that he chooses to answer while having sex with her. He confidently reveals that they made a bet that he could sleep with her. She's extremely turned off, bringing up her vow, then snap. Dick be gone. Like, it's just lovely that now she can she's in this position where she's like, I can turn it on and turn it off as I please.
Yeah,
like,
I love
now,
her learning to use it.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is great. This time, she just straight up dips, leaving him there bleeding out from his crotch. And he's like trying to hit the intercom to call his mom. Such red pill incel behavior right here. But there you go. Dawn goes to visit her mom at the hospital, but instead she learns that she has died. Bill is already at home, ready to fuck Brad's shit up, and he was like ready. He was just like, you motherfucker. Which, come on, dude, what? How absolutely, not only is it disrespectful, but like, how selfish and like disgusting can you be? And it's just, his mommy issues are just like so off the wall. Jesus fucking Christ. He wakes him up, kicking him out of the house, thinking that it has something to do with Kim. He slaps him in the head, which, fuck yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
And this moment was pretty funny where he tells Melanie, he's like, can we have a minute? And she just puts the covers over her head.
She falls back asleep. Yeah. It's so funny.
It's like, here's your moment.
It's like,
this is so great.
It's like, is that the blanket from the cave? That's disgusting.
It kind of looked like it. I'm not going to lie. It kind of looked like it, but yeah. His room is disgusting, though. Like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of bugs that have to be in his room.
Yeah, he
just never leaves his room.
You can probably just look at it and you can know that it has a smell, for sure. Easily.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Quick hilarious vignette of Ryan getting his dick operated on, and then we go right back to Bill and Brad fighting. Brad kicks the crate open to invite Mother to take a bite out of his neck. Meanwhile, Dawn is sobbing on top of her mother's body, urging her to feel her touch again. Damn. This hit hard.
It's really sad.
This hit hard. This was extremely sad. But I love that this was the moment where she like completely embraces herself and she's just like, revenge taken in my own hands. Brad doesn't understand why Bill had to marry Kim, making Dawn his sister. And this is where he admits to loving her. He doesn't say a name. So like it is kind of hard, I guess, to distinguish who he's actually talking about, but it obviously isn't Kim, right? Like he's talking about Dawn.
Yeah.
He pleads for his son to call Mother off. Brad admits to loving her, not fully understanding who his son is talking about. He's just like, fuck, dude, I know. Yeah, you loved her. Get your dog off me, please. Like, get your goddamn dog off me. Like, yes, you loved her. I know you did. She loved you too. Whatever the fuck you want to hear right now, just get your dog. Get your dog. So he calls Mother off, shooing her back into the cage, and he's like shouting at her to get back into the cage. This dude's mommy issues are off the charts, obviously, but it's weird because he almost takes like pleasure in yelling at his dog. Like it's just
well, it's power
the aspect
control.
of commanding. The aspect of like commanding something is something that he really gets off on, and I love the fact that he doesn't have the ability to command Mother no longer at a certain point, which is great. Bill and Melanie, I almost said Bill and Ted. Bill and Melanie are at the hospital. Dawn hugs him as Melanie apologizes, telling her that Brad told her to ignore Kim's screams because apparently she does this a lot. What?
Yeah.
The fuck? That is crazy.
Real piece of shit.
Crazy. So you know what Dawn does? She gets dolled up as soon as she gets home before standing in Brad's doorway as he watches a movie. Without saying a word, she takes a hit from his joint, smiling at Medusa on the TV. She caresses his face, reaching toward his crotch. He doesn't understand why she's doing this now, and she throws his line back at him of like, what are you afraid or something? He allows her. She gets on top, as he claims this is weird because he can't stand to look at her knowing that like, oh, we technically have been siblings since you were 3, even though I sexually assaulted you when you were a child. Not able to handle looking at her face, he tries to flip her over, but she does not allow it one bit. She's like, And she flips right back.
Look me in my eyes.
Yeah, you're gonna do this properly because I need to see your fucking face.
Well, he's also scared of her vagina. He wants to do anal sex on her, not like.
Oh
actually.
yeah.
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 But she's
absolutely.
like, no, you're not going to do that.
Well, and I also think in this moment he forgets initially. He has this moment where he forgets that like, oh shit. You have dentata,
because he's just so tunnel visioned on sex with this person he hasn't been able to have sex with, like conquering this woman that he hasn't been able to conquer. He just tunnel visions onto that.
Yep, exactly. Showing off her vagina convinces him otherwise. Mother is going crazy and knowing something is off, talking a big game about this playing out, pushing her lips slightly down with his mangled finger. He realizes that her vagina is different. Trying to exit, she doesn't allow him to, forcing him down on top of her until he rips it clean off. Spitting his penis out when she stands up. Mother gets out of her cage and immediately picks up the penis, ignoring his command to get her. He tells her to drop it, but she eats it instead. Spitting out the tip with the Prince Albert piercing. Dawn leaves the fucker suffering alone, and we cut to her riding down the highway. This was such a let's go moment, dude. Such a let's go moment. And I love that in her eyes right here, she was like, I just now need to get away.
Yeah.
I love that for her. I love that like she's just like, there's officially nothing for me here. Therefore, I'm going to leave, which is great. Which also turns out she's also a fugitive on the run, which is also kind of funny. But yeah, stopping when her bike catches a flat tire, or I assume that's what happened. I don't know.
I guess
the tire didn't look
on
flat, but something happened to her bike where she was spinning the front wheel, and I was just like, what am I supposed to believe here? It doesn't look flat. It doesn't look like it's bent. What am I? Maybe she just got tired of riding the bike. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah,
she got too tired with a bicycle. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that a pun?
Too tired.
For goodness sake.
Too tired. It was just like, all right.
There it is.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Freddie, you need to write raps, brother. Stopping when her bike catch Frederick Lamar. Here it is. She decides to hitchhike and is immediately picked up. Later that night, this fucking old man pulls into a gas station and he's just like sticking his tongue out and just
his
like
fucking facial expression was so disgusting and hilarious at the same time. Like, what the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, it's like he looked. You know who he looked like? He looked like the one of the seven dwarves.
Oh,
the one with the big ears. Dopey. Thank you. He looked like Dopey. Like it looked like his ears were about to start fucking flapping by itself. Like it was just like or alfalfa or something. Like it's just oh my god. Waking up Dawn so they can have sex. Dear Darla, you make me vomit. You're the skull between my toes. Love alfalfa. She tries to exit his car, but he keeps locking the car door. Instead of searching for her hero, she straight up becomes the most powerful hero there is, herself. Then credits. Fuck yeah, let's go. Kachuga. That was awesome.
Bite off all the dicks.
Bite them off. Bite them off. Like this was great. This was great. This is such a great movie. This also has one of my favorite posters. I think this poster's fantastic.
It's so good.
As well with it's such a good poster. Really, really solid poster. But yeah, it's damn dude, what a movie. But there are some movie facts here that I do think are pretty interesting.
Movie facts.
Okay. So during the filming of the first scene, many of the neighbors were protesting the film because they believed that it was a pornographic film. Word spread through the Windsor Park neighborhood of Austin, Texas, that the production concerned a young woman with teeth in her vagina, and residents concluded that the shoot was pornographic without reading the script. One local resident rallied others and summoned news crews to the corner lot, serving as Dawn's on-screen home. Newly appointed Texas Film Commission director Bob Hudgens intervened to defuse the situation, stating that the material was in bad taste but did not constitute pornographic. A local film commissioner had earlier read the script during location scouting and telephoned the scouted venues, warning them against the hosting that he called a pornographic shoot, forcing the crew to secure alternative locations across the city for safety concerns. Wow.
It's that censorship we were talking about.
Exactly. Yep. There you go. This one seems pretty interesting. Hale Appleman, also who played Toby, later appeared as the series regular in The Magicians, portraying Elliot across the show's 5-season run. In episode Do You Like Teeth in 2018, Elliot and his best friend Margot deliberately mislead a character by suggesting that women have teeth in their vaginas, a fabrication presented as a fact to manipulate the character's behavior. The joke functions as a direct callback to the vagina dentata mythology that forms the central premise of this particular film.
Oh, that's fun.
Pretty fun. Pretty fun. I'm sure he had a kick out of that when they said that. He was like, haha, because I was in that movie. Oh, I get it. I got it. A local bakery custom made the piercing on the prop used for Brad, detached penis out of sugar, so that it would be safe for the dog to swallow. The prop appears in the climactic sequence in which Dawn severs Brad's penis, drops it to the floor, and Brad's Rottweiler eats the organ before spitting out the pierced glands. Great. The very heavy use of nuclear plants being in the background of most shots seem to imply that the deformation Dawn gets was caused by nuclear radiation. Writer-director Mitchell Lichtenstein confirmed that the characters in the film, including Dawn herself, are all so comically naive and just plain stupid that no one, especially the lead, puts it together. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but nor does anyone realize how bizarre it is that they live next to a power plant in the first place. The twin cooling towers, rendered with thick black smoke rather than the accurate white steam, appear repeatedly throughout the opening credits. Neighboring established shots and backyard sequences, Dawn researches the vagina dentata myth in an online encyclopedia entry, but never connects her condition to the environmental radiation exposure. The film deliberately leaves the origin ambiguous, suggesting mutation, evolution, or the literal manifestation of ancient mythology, while surrounding the characters with an obvious source of genetic damage that they never acknowledged. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's better that they don't go into it. That's not what we're doing here.
Yeah, I think that would have made this movie pretty lame if they would have been like, oh, the radiation and blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't necessarily call the characters stupid, but...
no, that was a little rough.
Yeah, that was a little crazy right there, brother.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about that. I mean,
Dawn also, she has a lot going on. She's distracted.
She has a lot happening.
Yeah.
She has a lot happening, so calm down. Man. What an absolute fantastic flick. We definitely want to keep this conversation going. We can do so by either heading over to our Patreon, by shouting out in those comments over there, or on our YouTube. If this even ever makes it on YouTube, we do not censor anything. So you can do it in the comments over there, or inside of Spotify, where it would 100% be up. You can do it inside there, or inside of the safest place of all, Discord, where you can head over there and share all of your opinions that you would like to share about teeth. We would definitely want to keep this conversation going. Before we go ahead and jump into what the next film we are going to cover, we have to give, first of all, a very big thank you to Ariel for joining us. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure having you here. This is so much fun. We definitely would love to have you again. I know we talked about it last year, almost a year ago. Is when we talked about having you on the show, and so I'm glad we were able to finally make it happen. And I'm glad I chose this one for you to be on.
This was a great one. If you guys ever want to talk Dead Girl, let me know.
Oh yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome for sure.
Really be upsetting for you and your listeners, but yeah.
Noted. Challenge accepted. But we also have to give a very big special shout out to our patrons over on patreon.com/nightlightpod. That's night with a K. If you like your name shouted out on the show, you can do so by heading over there to learn more. We would love to have your name shouted out by our community manager, Allison, who's going to go ahead and do so right now.
What's up, ghouls and knights? This week's Patreon shout out list is better than ever. Thank you so much to Gia, Avery, Kevin, our aging knight, Farah, my Twilight bestie, Sergio, Jasmine, Kadrea, who I finally have had the honor of chatting to, cardiac nurse, I believe. Okay, baddie. Samantha, Dim, Alondra, Johnny, Also, shout out to your girlfriend because I love her so much. Kelly, Rain, Carrie, Chantal, who is one of our OGs since the beginning. We miss you at watch parties, by the way. Joe, thank you so much for helping me host the watch parties. I love you so much. Um, Join our Hellfire tier if you want a personalized shout out. Let us know when you have birthdays, anniversaries, death wishes, threads, etc. For all your personalized shout out needs, we got you. We love you so much. Please stay safe in the heat. We love you starting a while ago and forever.
Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. It truly, honestly does mean a ton to us. It allows us to keep the light on. It allows us to have our editor fed. It allows us to keep making super cool, fun videos just like this. If you're listening to the audio version, thank you so much for listening to the audio version as well. That also does quite a bit for us as well. So if you can give us a good little rating over there, that also is super helpful. But if you're listening to the video version, thanks for that too. Nice to see you. So there you go. But the next film that we're going to be covering is going to be one that is released this year that I have not seen yet, which is Leviticus. Very excited for that.
It's so good.
I cannot wait. I have not seen it yet, so I'm really excited.
One of the best romance stories all year. Easily.
Oh man.
I'm excited for you guys to talk about that.
I'm stoked. I'm very stoked. Very stoked about that one. But this was Nightlight, a horror movie podcast. I was one of your hosts, Prince, also known as Head Knight. Alongside me, we had Freddie.
Always keeping things spooky.
Always and forever. Also known as the 99. Other there, we also had Ariel. Thank you again for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine.
With your help, we can reach more ghoulish nights with your recommendation for the show. If your podcast app allows you to rate the show, consider us a 5-star rating, as it honestly does help us out a ton. For extra horror-related content, you can head over to patreon.com/nightlightpod. That's night with a what? Boop. You practiced. The breath work in that one was fantastic. And remember, everybody, don't forget your nightlight.